things that grind our gears and things that piss me off, but also like the nice.
Just IRL conversations.
Yeah, in real life
really
conversations.
What it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
My name is Ellie.
And my name is Ross.
Welcome to our podcast, In Real Life, where we dive deep into life, relationships, and real-world topics.
We promise laughter, tears, and jaw-dropping moments. Well, I don't want to promise it. But...
So get ready, because this is what it means for us to live in real life. As you guys know, we are big advocates for taking care of our mental and physical health, and we are also huge supporters for Australia Zoo and Wildlife Warriors.
Yes, we are.
So when we found out about High Vita Happy Energy, part of the Happy Saba group who donate 50% of their profits to causes like Wildlife Warriors, it really grabbed our attention.
High Vita is a natural herbal company, unlike synthetic supplements, sourcing the most premium single herbs from around the world and providing it to you in an easy-to-swallow vegan capsule. We're both all about wellness and living active lifestyles, so adding High Vita to our daily routine was such a great move. Bit of a game changer, really.
It was.
We love the High Vita team's happy energy ethos. Their business model is more about social profits with a culture driven by their 3 Ps. Ellie, their 3 Ps.
Love for people, planet, and philanthropy.
Yes.
Not to mention, these guys are also Aussie-made, researched and come in only eco-friendly glass bottles. You can check out the full High Vita range exclusively at Chemist Warehouse, whether you shop, in-store, or online.
So if you're looking to level up your wellness game with a brand that's not only good for you but gives back to people, animals and the planet, High Vita Happy Energy is where it's at.
And of course, always read the label and follow the directions for use. Hey guys, welcome back to In Real Life with Ellie and Ross. And of course, we've got Daisy here too, as usual.
We almost lost her the other week. Not as in like lost as if she ran away, as in she almost died.
Yeah, we did talk about this on our relationships topic as well.
Oh, we did?
Because she was on the bed half shaved.
That show, I was maybe, I don't want to say toasty or I wasn't fully intoxicated.
But you were pretty toasted.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was Friday night. I think it was the first time we recorded a Friday night session. So
Yeah.
we're like, you know what, this is our Friday night. Let's kick back, have a couple drinks.
Yeah, have some fun.
Yeah.
You were like, did we talk about this? Did we talk
Oh, the next
about
morning,
that?
I was like...
literally did not remember one thing.
I think what happened is, like, we obviously plan, we have a few points that we want to cover.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days before or the day before or whatever, we go over those things. So I think I molded all of that into one. So I wasn't sure what we did and what we didn't. But
You're on a roll though.
Well, I'm yet to hear it, see it, so we'll see shortly, I guess.
So today we're doing a little bit of an episode. It's in real life conversations.
Yeah.
Conversations that you and I would have sitting at home, having a couple of drinks with our friends.
Yep.
So we're going to go over a couple of things that are, you like to say, grinding your gears. I'm going to say piss me off. And a couple of things that gives us hope about the future.
Yep.
And a couple like 3 things, like little reminders to come back to daily.
Yeah, like some pieces of advice that we like to look at ourselves in front of the mirror.
Yeah, reflect upon.
Affirmations. I am happy. I am happy.
I'm good. Just breathe.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, you're giving one away.
Huh?
You're giving one away.
Okay, well, we'll get there. Just
Jeez.
don't stress. It's all right.
So in real life conversations.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that are grinding your gears at the man, Ellie?
I hate it when you say that. I hate.
So that's one of the things that are grinding your gears when I say grinding your gears.
Pissing me off. It's pissing me off.
Oh, actually,
What?
swear jar, remember?
Yeah, it's next to you. I was hoping
You
that
know
you were
what?
going to forget.
I'm
to be
so
honest.
confident. Don't have coins on me right now.
Oh, the coins.
I'm so
Jacob,
confident.
Do we have coins?
Negative.
I'm so
Definitely.
confident that you are not going to drop an F-bomb.
Same.
That
I've
we won't
actually
need to
been
use
doing-
this. But if we do, it's right
there.
there. And I'm going to make a noise and that'll be $100 deducted.
Well, to be fair, I feel like I have definitely been a lot better not swearing lately.
You have. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
What a great idea of Michael's.
Yeah, actually so good.
Yes.
So we had 3 last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was good. Over 2 episodes.
Yep, I guess
Yeah.
so.
I'm not swearing like a sailor anymore.
All right. Well, hopefully there's nothing, but I'll make a little ting noise and I'll definitely grab it and it's there as a visual.
Smash it over my head.
Put it right here so we can see it. It's right there. No F-bombs. Other
no
words
F-bombs.
are fine.
Absolutely not.
You can call people. See you next Tuesday. No, not you.
No, I
think that's worse.
I think I did say that once during our grief and loss series.
You're hijacking already.
Yeah, okay.
What is grinding? What is grinding your gears at the moment?
Look, we've got a couple of things.
You off?
Do you want me to start with what pisses me off?
Yeah, I know. Like
So-
I know you like a list.
Yeah.
I know you like a list or two.
I actually do love making a little list. I think it's like the ADHD in me.
Stop
that's like,
self-diagnosing yourself with ADHD.
I will self-diagnose. I will die on this hill. I absolutely have it.
Literally, you'll
But
die
I
on the
don't
hill.
go.
Your gravestone will say, "Here lies Ellie Gonzalez. She had ADHD." In brackets, self-diagnosed.
Wife, dog mum, and self-diagnosed ADHD.
I think people have got to be careful with self-diagnosing themselves with ADHD.
For sure.
Honestly.
Well,
I don't think it's a good thing.
I think the only reason I'm not going to go and get medication for it. That's why I don't go to the doctors. I don't feel like I need
Get medication for it. No one you don't actually
see,
know if
I
you've
feel
got
like this is
ADHD
something
and if
that
you
pisses
need
you off, it grinds your gears.
definitely one thing, people self-diagnosing.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, I just feel like it helps me manage, like knowing that I do, it helps me manage like those symptoms. And also for you as well. I feel like things that I really struggle with, you're like, okay, she's actually really struggling with this right now. And I feel like it's because I have ADHD. I don't know if that's just like an excuse.
I feel like it's just a human experience. You just like, I don't think it needs to be categorized or like stereotyped into something.
Mm-hmm.
I
We just added another point to our what pisses us off.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, I love a list. So, do you know what? I've actually been on TikTok recently, and there's a big.
You have been on TikTok.
Yeah.
Weird. Recently.
Ross is not on TikTok for anyone listening. But
No, thank you.
Show him
China, take your technology and keep it to yourself.
I show him and save videos all the time, and I send him like 100 videos a day. But there's actually something that's been coming up on my page a lot lately. I don't know why, but it's about weddings. And discussions about
like crazy weddings.
No. Not I mean like not crazy weddings, but
you sent me a crazy wedding the other day of a bride arriving in a fucking canoe. Like she was in like a kayak and she was like going down this moat. It was like a full
it was like Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
That Crazy Rich Asians vibe. Like literally it was like
good on
the
them.
aisle was like the water, but that's not what I'm talking about. Power to you if you want to do that. Amazing. It's your day. Whatever makes you happy makes me happy. Unless you're a serial killer. That's another story. But it's the expectation that people have that so bridesmaids, groomsmen, you have a bachelorette party. People are expected to.
You didn't have a bachelorette party.
No, this is actually another thing that I want to talk about.
I didn't have a bachelor party.
This is something I see a lot on TikTok. Is a lot of brides talking about their husbands or their fiancés having their bachelor parties and getting strippers and like all that kind of thing. And it's like they talk about like, am I being controlling and a bad person for not wanting my husband to go and get a lap dance from a stripper or go to a strip club or have strippers at the hotel room for his bachelor party? I think it's like one of those things. It actually, I think,
does this grind your gears?
It actually does.
Does this piss you off?
If it makes you feel uncomfortable, I think firstly you should communicate that to your husband or to your fiance. But at the same time, it's like the expectation that what's considered normal, like that's. How is that considered normal? Like if in any other scenario, that would be classed as cheating, right? For a lot of people. And if you're cool with it, like that's fine. But I feel like a lot of people now have this idea. It's like, okay, my husband deserves this, but I don't feel comfortable with it. And
I reckon the overwhelming majority of women would prefer that their partner didn't do crazy bachelor
I think it's unfaithful.
Shit.
I personally think, in my
I think
opinion,
look. I even think that the comment, and look, I should be for the guys, and I am for the guy. I don't give a fuck, to be honest.
Well, we didn't have a bachelor bachelorette party.
No,
because
I don't.
We're not bachelors or bachelorettes.
Oh, it's your last chance to. It's actually not.
Yeah.
I'm still with my person.
Yeah.
I'm still dating that
It's
person.
not a
it's
night
not
off
like
from your relationship.
hang on a second. Just let's separate for a week. I just need to go and get some shit out of my system.
Yeah.
That's not really what happens.
Yeah, you're not. It's not your last night of being single.
Maybe there are some couples out there that communicate and like,
Yeah.
you know what, you can look but don't touch.
Yeah, but like a lot of them
go to
end
the
up
museum
touching and catching something that they bring home to
There's
their wives.
probably a lot of that.
There absolutely is. I've heard so many stories on TikTok. But yeah, I think it's one of those things that's like men expect that, and a lot of people like nowadays, like I consider that to be cheating. Like if you went and decided to do that, I'd be like, oh, like
to what? What's the level? Where do you go to? Because I organised my brother's bachelor party.
Yeah.
And look, while we didn't have strippers there, there were some, I think they were bikini girls. Waitresses. Three of them maybe.
Yeah.
And that was, honestly, the reason why, it definitely wasn't for my brother because he's just like, whatever. But it was more so for a group of like mates. It was 10 or 12 other dudes.
See, this is where it gets me because they're all married.
Yeah, they were actually.
That's
pretty
the
much.
fucked up
Pretty much. You just if I had a gold coin that represents $100, you literally just killed.
I feel so passionate about this. Oh my god!
Obviously, you feel passionate about it. You just killed a koala, Ellie.
Oh my god! Don't call me Ellie.
That's how you know you're in trouble, Ellie Gonzalez.
No,
Ellie Gonzalez, come here right now.
Smack me on the bum. No, it actually.
I'll definitely do
this
that.
is what gets me when everyone's like, "It's for the other guys," but the other guys are already in relationships. They're engaged or they're married, which is
true.
That's so messed up. Like having that idea, it's like, okay, this is like.
It's for the boys.
This is like appropriate. Yeah, it's for the boys. Nah, you guys, it's just a stupid excuse.
However, girls,
that's bullshit.
When girls go to like those shows, like
I've seen
from Down Under.
It applies to both.
They are
very handsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went for a friend's 50th. She was like my mum, and they organised like her to go up on stage, but they all dance on the tables, and the way that like you can't go to a strip club and touch the strippers, but there
some places you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Just
consent.
Just asking for a friend. Which places are these? just kidding. Asking for a friend so I don't ever go.
No, so this is I think this is something that people are like it's socially acceptable, but when you actually think about it, like I wouldn't want you or like that's something that I wouldn't feel cool about, but the guys are like, yeah, but it's like a right of way. And I think it's like such a dated tradition with weddings that are attached to that I feel like people get so much anxiety from, and they're like, oh,
I think it's almost just like it's a because it's just sort of the norm.
Yeah.
This is it's almost like that free pass because it's just a commonly accepted thing.
Yeah. But I feel like it's bullshit.
Is that grinding your gears right now? Is that something that pisses you off
so
when you
much.
see a bachelor out there getting a lap dance?
No. That doesn't. I think it's when the wife or the fiance is uncomfortable with it.
That grinds your gears. You want to go out there with a flag.
It's just disrespect. Like it's not you're doing something that is making you're about to get married to this person and you're going off and doing this. And I've heard some stories about what some of these guys do at these bachelor parties.
No, it's some messed up shit.
There's some stuff flying out of places that I just don't think if your significant other is not cool with you doing that, and you should definitely communicate these things before you have your wedding. And I think also when you're coming into a relationship, what you expect. But
yeah, if you're cool with it, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think just clearly defining your rules, and we've spoken about this a little bit, clearly defining your rules, your expectations.
Exactly.
Knowing what the other person is comfortable with. Like, I never want you to feel disrespected or hurt or, neglected or whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think having that clearly defined expectation and having rules set in place so you can understand what the other person's feeling, and I think that's important.
Yeah, it totally is. Absolutely. And then also too, back to my point about weddings, a lot of brides and grooms have the expectation for other people to pay for those things like the bachelorette parties, the like giving a wedding gift, traveling to go somewhere, paying for a dress, which is sometimes hundreds of dollars, paying for the hair and makeup.
Hundreds of dollars?
Hundreds of
dresses
dollars.
Dresses are thousands of dollars.
Well, yeah, I mean, it definitely ranges, but the expectation for their friends to pay for their day, I think, is something that kind of really pisses me off because
so
it's your
is
day.
it like the bride or the groom expects other
people to pay to
Right.
pitch in for those experiences, which ends up being thousands of dollars at the end of the day for some people, which is money that they actually can't afford to, well, a lot of people can't afford to dish out at a wedding, which I think is really unfair that expectation comes with being
That's
a part of a
changed
bridal
a lot,
party.
right? So for over the last 30, 40, 50
Yeah, it
years,
has.
I don't think that was a common thing where you had to have this extravagant beat the next person on social media type of wedding. I've got to do it bigger, better.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't an expectation. I feel like that wasn't an expectation 30 or 40 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it wasn't. And at the same time,
People wonder
if you
why
had
they
a
can't
wedding,
afford a
people-
house
but
because they
people
spend
would
$100
pay.
grand on a wedding.
yeah, but people would pay like you know how you get your families, like your parents usually would like pitch in for the wedding, like they'll pay for things. But
That'd be
back
nice.
in the day, yeah, it would be nice. But back in the day, we didn't have two people or families to be able to pitch in for
Back in
anything.
my
but
day.
that would have been a lovely gift. But back then, like the bride and the groom would pay to put these things on. It's their wedding. And if you have like a very high expectation of how you want your wedding to be, you should have to pay for that. I don't think someone should, because people go to multiple weddings a year sometimes,
Yeah.
especially Greek people.
Oh.
I'm talking to you, Greek people. Like it's
There's
actually
a wedding or a
wedding,
christening,
a
or
funeral,
something every weekend.
literally all the
Yeah.
time. But you are expected to give a wedding gift. You're expected to pay for your hair and makeup. You're expected to pay for the bachelorette party. And I think if you're putting an event on with an expectation or a standard that you want to set, you should pay for it. Unless you want the bridesmaids or the groomsmen to pay for something, like they go off and they pick what they can afford financially. That's appropriate for them.
Yeah, look, I do think it's unreasonable when someone says, "Hey, you know, I'm getting married. Would love you to be bridesmaid, groomsman, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
By the way, we're having it in this other country.
Yeah.
Like, I actually don't want to revolve my like once a year holiday around your wedding.
On
Your
your
call,
schedule.
but-
Yeah.
That frustrates me a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, a lot of
So are
people
you basically
expecting-
saying that because now you've had a beautiful wedding, perfect wedding?
Well, I didn't
you just-
expect anyone to pay for anything. This is
True.
the thing. This is
Yeah.
my experience. I would feel personally so bad if I expected people to dish out all this money. And I didn't have bridesmaids. We didn't have a bachelorette party because, I mean, like, yeah, we just didn't feel like, I didn't feel like this is not my last night on earth. Like, I get people want to celebrate those things together, but I just really wasn't
I
interested.
actually don't get that. What do you mean? They want to celebrate those things together? Bachelor party.
Bridesmaids like want to go out and
Okay,
celebrate
right.
the bride. People love doting on the
Do you reckon
bride.
it had something to do with the fact that like it took us 14 years? 14 years, 15 years? How long?
14 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just like, I don't know.
Well, our wedding was the party. It was the celebration.
Oh, that's all
like
it was. It wasn't a formal
I feel
thing.
like there's so many pre-celebrations, like the bridal shower, the bachelorette party, like all of these things. You have a pre-event and a pre-event to the event. But I think for us, like we saw our wedding day, well, one of our 2 wedding days, as a really big celebration of us with our friends. I didn't feel like we needed a run-up party to that or 2 run-up parties to that. That's actually crazy. A bridal shower, a bachelorette party, and then the wedding. That's insane. 3 events. But like do whatever makes you happy. But I think if you're expecting people to pay and chip in for these things, I just think that's a bit wrong, in my opinion.
And that's grinding your gears at the moment.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I see it a lot on TikTok and on the stories about it. But yeah, it's just one of those things that like I feel like if you want to put something on that's like that makes you happy, cool. But expecting other people to show up and pay all of that money, like bridal shower gift, bachelorette party, it's excessive.
It is a little bit.
It's very excessive.
Do you know what else is excessive?
What?
When you go to order like, I don't know, a boba tea or maybe some sushi,
Yeah.
you walk up and they're...
Where are we doing this, by the way?
What do you mean?
Where are we ordering these?
You're about to go to the movies and you're gonna go get like a boba tea or you're gonna get like some sushi, takeaway, and then everyone's got the screens these days.
Yeah.
And then it comes up $15.90 for your boba tea, which is like that big, and then before you even pay, they ask you to tip.
Yeah.
5%, 10%, 25%, and then there's always that maybe next time.
And then they look at you while you're picking. And they're like, you better pick something good. Otherwise, they're going to spit in your boba tea.
That's reading into it a little bit too much.
I don't know. That's what I feel. That's how I feel when they see you say no tip.
That doesn't look. Our life isn't too bad, obviously. We're not talking about like political issues. We're not talking about Russia, Ukraine. Yeah. We're not talking about anything real. Like, this shows our privilege. But it annoys me when I just want to get my drink or my sushi or whatever. Yeah. That is actually a little bit frustrating.
And we lived in America for
which is very
7 years.
Which is very service orientated.
Yeah, and it definitely opened our eyes how much it lacks here in Australia. The general day-to-day service. Also, because
in America you get paid like absolute minimum wage.
Yeah.
And minimum wage plus tips generally equals like an average hourly rate or a wage. Yeah. Whereas over here, people get paid fairly high hourly rates.
Yeah, they do.
And now tipping is becoming a little bit more common in a lot of places.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but I'm not tipping you before I receive the service.
Yeah. Are you sorry?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
If your service is good, I'm happy to tip. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but isn't like the whole concept of tipping be like, you did an awesome job. Thank you so much. Yeah. Here's 20% on top of what the bill was. Yeah. But the thing that annoys me is tipping before you've even received the service.
Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. It's like, what are you tipping for? Like, what?
Yeah.
Especially if there's no real service attached.
Are you noticing that that's becoming more?
Yeah, it's happening everywhere. It's happening, well, not everywhere, but in a lot of places, that automatic tip. And it's like, you don't even know where that goes to. Does it go to the employee? Does it go to the business? Like, where does that actually how does that get distributed to? Like, all of the employees?
Yes, I guess being in the States, it's very, very common that it goes to the wait team, like everyone who's waiting on people, team, right?
Yeah.
Wait team? What do you call it?
Wait staff.
Wait staff?
Yeah, wait staff. Like,
okay. I generally hate the word staff.
Yeah.
Or employees. I like saying team.
Yeah,
team. It's more like, of a...
Well, Topgolf in America, when we were living, was it in Austin?
It was in Austin, yeah.
How much did they get paid?
I think it was $2.50 something cents an hour.
That is insane.
Which is minimum wage. No, which was below the minimum wage, but they had the ability to legally pay them something like $2.50 because they were able to include the averaged amount of tips that they would get during that time. So I think say minimum wage is like $9 an hour, right?
Yeah.
So they set it at $2.50 because they knew they would get the difference between $2.50 and $9
also,
in tips.
How is that legal?
I don't know. America.
$2 an hour? Like, how is that? That's not even at McDonald's here in Australia. You get paid that less. Like, you get
what? Of course you don't get paid that. Exactly. You couldn't get paid that anywhere in this country. You would literally be almost be put in front of a firing squad.
Yeah, but it's actually crazy.
We actually have really good. We have really, well, I say really good, but really fairly high minimum hourly rate.
Yeah.
Rates in Australia.
Yeah, but it is also crazy over there in America. The expectation of tipping just to tip as well. Like, that's how the employees live. They're not actually getting paid enough from the business.
Yeah. Well, it is a service. It is a service-based business, and then but then you find people that do exceptionally well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially like in Vegas,
they're great at what they do.
Yeah,
which is so well deserved. Like, I feel like you do. Yeah. You should have to.
Do you prefer a high? So Australia high hourly rate, so it's almost you get more consistency, or do you prefer more of the American way where it's almost bare minimum and the excess is based on the discretion of the person coming in and getting that service?
Well,
What do you feel
I
is-
don't feel like I can comment because I've never been in the service-based industry.
No,
But I feel very sad for people who are living off of what they are in America right now, going through the economy that we're going through, and the stress that you would have every day to rely on other people. Like, you could get the best service in the world, and if people out there don't have the money to give for tips, you're not going to make enough money. So your cortisol levels would be insane over there, because you're like, how am I going to pay my rent this month if people are all struggling? Everyone's losing their jobs. Like, well, not everyone's losing their jobs, but, you know, it's a tough economy over there at the moment, even in Australia as well. Like, cost of living is insane. So
in times like these, it's actually better than to probably be more of the Australian way, where it's a higher minimum wage. What you do with that money at the end of the day is your choice, as opposed to in America.
I think you have a bit more security here.
Yeah.
Even though the cost of living is really high and a lot of people are really struggling.
It is, but also, like, how many subscriptions do you have? You know, like, you've got your Netflix, your Disney's, your whatever. Also, I saw a study the other day that on average, the average Australian purchases something between like 60 or 80, something between 60 and 80 new pieces of clothing a year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. But I think at the end of the day, there are a lot of people genuinely struggling out there to actually just
not discounting that fact either.
Yeah, but being able to make things ends meet, but at the same time, there are a lot of like extra things these days that people pay for. Do you want to get down?
She just poured at you, yeah. Also, look at this. You're in a full business get up today. Are you like going on Shark Tank or something after this?
You never know. You never know what's going to happen. You got to be prepared. Got to be prepared for everything. I love how differently we are actually dressed today. You're in camo shorts, a black t-shirt, and your Adidas runners, and I'm in my full like 3-piece
sexy
suit.
business wears.
Yeah, you love the sexy business.
Speaking of
wears.
business, and I know you wouldn't do this if you ran a business. Mm-hmm. Do you also? Does it frustrate you? You know, when you go to checkout, not the tip. You go to checkout and like, would you like to round up 14 cents to so and so foundation?
And then the corporations take the
like 80% of it in admin fees.
Yeah.
Or you just don't even know where it's going.
Yeah, you do. But they also take the kudos for being like, we donated this much to this charity this year. And it's actually
your customers
didn't. Yeah, your customers did.
Also, you just
them
charge
into
me
it.
like 15 cents for a paper bag, which is like,
Yeah. I mean, those corporations, those large corporations that that are currently being investigated.
You know what would be cool? Like, we actually just rounded up. Like, choose a number. Like, if it's more than 20 cents, leave it. But if it's like 19 cents and less, just do it. Just do it and be like, we rounded up 16 cents on your behalf and it's going to go to XYZ. That to me says, oh, you're actually trying to do something cool.
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh, by the way, we've stung you with all of these pricings. Yeah. We've made this money from you. We've charged you for your paper bags. And by the way, would you like to be a good person too and round up to offset, like, and you don't even know where it's going to?
And these corporations literally tell you how many billions of dollars that they collectively make.
Yep.
And they own so much of multiple industries all over Australia. It's bullshit. If you want to donate money, profits from your company that you basically like price gouge to make a profit from, why don't you just donate a couple
I feel like is it the guilting people into.
But that's such a thing though. People are like they panic and they're like, oh yeah,
sure. It's like those people you see in the shops, you know, when they're like selling raffle tickets or whatever, and they do like hone in on you, and then you try and find your phone and like making a call.
No, I don't. I'm like, I'm not interested. Don't talk to me. Like we already contribute towards things that we are passionate about.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And I think also having something to believe in this world and support is really, really important. That's why you and I have worked with Wildlife Warriors since 2010. But But yeah, I feel like people genuinely those companies bank on people feeling bad or panicking and being like, I don't want to look like a bad person. Because they like, if you say no, they're like, okay. Like you get this like real judgmental look. And I couldn't care if somebody gave me a judgmental look. I don't feel bad for these companies being like, you want to take more money from me than you're actually taking already.
Yeah.
That you probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, and I like to know where that's going as well. Like with something like Wildlife Warriors, you know where that money's going.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know.
There's a lot. There's a lot of I'm not going to say charities. I'm going to say organizations out there.
Where like 80% of it goes in admin fees.
Yeah.
And a minimal amount goes towards the actual cause that they're promoting.
There's not a lot of
and I think look while you're just checking out of like your shopping cart, I think it's probably a wrong moment to maybe guilt someone or ask the question, do you want to round up and donate your 17 cents or 52 cents to XYZ? Like is there like a little eye on there for like more information, and then you're standing there while all these people are queuing up behind you.
Yeah.
Like, hang on, I just got to read where my 42 cents is going to.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I don't know.
There's no transparency around it. I think it's rubbish. I think it's actually like
it's rubbish.
I think it's piss poor behavior a part of a lot of those big corporations.
Yeah.
And then they take the kudos. They're like, well, we've donated this much money. It's like, actually, hang on a second. Why don't you be honest and transparent about where that money has actually come from? Mostly from your customers who've been guilted into
it should
giving
be
away
like
money that they probably can't at this point.
It should be like our customers have decided to donate XYZ rather than we've donated XYZ.
Yeah. Practice boundaries, everyone. Don't feel bad. Practice boundaries. Protect yourselves.
Yeah.
At all costs.
Protect yourself.
Yeah. Protect and serve.
So there's a couple of things that have been, you said, pissing you off.
Yeah.
Grinding my gears.
I think actually one thing as well, since it's just happened.
Just one more.
Melbourne Cup. How many ads do we see around gambling, sports betting ads?
Oh, I think sports betting. I don't think sports betting I don't have a problem with sports betting. I think that's fine. There's a bit of a culture around it. That's fine. But if you need to, at the end of an ad, you need to display a warning disclaimer that's almost as long as the ad itself, I don't think you should be allowed. I think the government has a responsibility to.
They do.
They know it's bad and damaging, which is why they have to say that warning.
Well, it's like smoking.
So
you can't put ads. You can't actually promote smoking on TV or across.
I don't think you can paid advertise smoking anymore.
You can't. It's
because they know of what damage it causes,
so
and I think it's pretty clear what damage gambling does to people.
Yeah.
So why is the government? I will let you do it. Just have a warning, though, that it probably could fuck your life up. You know, you could spiral out of control. It's extremely addictive. We
know all of these things, but like,
just make sure there's a little black and white warning at the end of it.
What's it like? Know your limits or something. That's all it says.
No. There's other things. There's know your limits.
But even
think of what else you could be buying. There's, I think, more. What is the other one? More than like you're more than likely going to lose, or you'll always.
Yeah, you're more than likely going to lose. So be conscious about what you're doing or something like that. But even pharmaceuticals as well. It's like they're all dancing on these commercials. We see this a lot in America, actually.
Australia's because we don't allow that sort of advertising.
Yeah, but in America, it's like people are like dancing around, and then it's like this might cause suicidal thoughts, and might cause cancer, and like all of these like. That
increase your chances of high blood pressure, will increase your chances of divorce, will increase your chances of your leg falling off, and also you might get hit by a bus.
You might be blinded.
And also all of a sudden you might have extreme impulses to go and shoot someone.
The disclaimers are actually longer than the ad itself, which is wild.
Do you need a disclaimer on something like that?
You probably shouldn't be placing ads for it, right?
You know what I actually really like? Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, you know him?
Yeah.
Personally?
Yeah.
Give him a call.
No, I'm joking.
You know who he is,
Yeah, no, of course I know who he is.
Yeah, giant dude.
Yeah.
So I think he's like...
I actually ran into him at a hotel.
He wouldn't have
lobby
even
at
known.
the
He would have
lift.
swat you away. Like he would have thought you were
Literally,
like a
he's
bug or something.
he's so tall. I don't think he even saw me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
But I like walked out and
No,
he
I
was
remember
like,
when you
waiting.
did in
He was
Vegas,
waiting
right?
at the lifts, and I literally looked up. He was so
Hello,
close,
little girl.
and I was like, "Whoa!"
Hello, little girl. How are you?
And then when I was walking away, I was like, "Oh my god, that was Shaq! Like that's wild."
So I've always been a fan of him, and I think
Yeah.
that he's a positive person. He's done really well for himself outside of basketball as well.
Yeah,
But he didn't ad for Sportsbet. I think it was Sportsbet over here.
yeah.
He didn't ad. And what annoyed me about it is I saw a speech from him a few years ago where he said, I don't do things just for the money. I do things for like the cause and the reason. So he created
that's
like...
wild.
Yeah.
It's wild to say that publicly and then be like, come and join us on Sportsbet. Like,
yeah, that to me, like I don't think the only reason why he would have done that was to take a check.
yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't because
he would have got paid. Even like, there's so many big celebrities out there who take so much money for those ads, and I don't think you would sit there and be like, yeah, I feel really passionate about gambling, about people potentially losing all of their earnings.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy to actually see.
Yeah, that made me feel. I was like, oh, really, dude? Like I thought you were.
Yeah,
really...
it's about a paycheck.
Yeah.
Easily.
Sort
You
of
don't feel
frustrating.
passionate about people gambling.
On that note, should we talk about our sponsors who are a gambling app?
Oh, shout out to you, Sportsbet. Doing awesome things.
Yeah. Oh, we shouldn't say just them. Are there other?
Oh,
No, it's not
I mean,
good.
like
Let's
that's.
not go
I
through
feel like that's there's that other one that's like we pay for the like first, second, and third place winners or something like that.
Yeah, it's just if you're really shit. And
Yeah.
No, but they know what they're doing. It's all algorithms. It's all
it
designed
is.
to hook people. They know that if someone does it enough, they'll end up getting them eventually. House always wins.
Yeah.
We know,
Absolutely.
like everyone knows that.
100%. But I feel like it's one of those things that's like people become addicted to it.
Oh, for sure, because it's like
Yeah.
that scene in Rain Man with Tom Cruise and Rain Man where you go down the escalator and then they recreate that in, was it The Hangover? Where, like, everyone who goes to the casino, you think you're Rain Man for like about 10 seconds until you get dealt your
Until you
first
get
3 or 4 cards.
really quick.
And you're like, maybe I'm not Rain Man.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
You just see like all this, like, this is just massive amounts of delusion.
Yeah.
And then reality comes crashing down.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but anyway, that is that is frustrating. How
On that.
#privileged our life is if they're only our frustrations.
Well, I mean, these are just like little conversations that I feel like you and I would have having friends over, and you know, you see these things happening. It's like they're just talking points. I don't feel like they're things that we're like, oh my god, like the world's over or anything like that.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, we're not getting it. We're not picketing.
Yeah.
We're not putting a sign out the front of our apartment.
I mean, it's just like kind of calling out bullshit where bullshit's due to be called out, really, right? That's what I feel like it's like.
Call it out.
Yeah.
You're still trying to get some little swear words in, but you've only cost yourself $100 towards Wildlife Warriors this session.
Anyway, on that.
So this is fairly negative. How?
Yeah, what? No,
What
like
a negative,
no.
negative Nancy you are.
can talk about these things without it being
no, it's fine to do
negative.
that. Yeah,
I
have a
think
little
having
bit of
healthy conversations
Yeah.
around these things are definitely important.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But on that note, I actually really want to talk about a couple of things that make us very hopeful for the future. Good things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you pregnant?
No, I don't think that would make me feel hopeful for the future considering our stance on these things, Ross.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, could you imagine? That would be the plot twist of the century.
Wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like we'd get
For
a lot of... But yeah, anyway, on that.
So what are you hopeful for? What are things that are not grinding your gears? What are
Well-
things that are lubricating your gears?
Well, I feel like that is disgusting. Don't ever say that
That's
ever
what
again, Ross.
gears need to be lubricated.
Yeah, but the way that you looked at me in the eye then when you said that is...
I'll lubricate your gears.
Don't say lubricate. That's so disgusting. You're cooked, hey. Anyway, yeah, I mean, one of the things that I'm really hopeful for is the discussion around like the shift towards people becoming a lot more health conscious and are very aware of what is going into their food and the things that they're consuming. I feel like there's except for the people who obviously vape, you obviously don't give a shit about what you're putting into your body. If you did, you wouldn't vape, but just my personal opinion.
Well, I think there's potions.
Actually, on that,
You could choose your potions,
on that,
you know.
the discussion
Like you have
around-
like a sneaky, vanilla Coke every now and then. But I think people who think that those things are just not bad for them, like it's a treat. It's like a snack. It's a treat. It's not a part of daily life.
There's a big difference between drinking a Coke now and then having a vape or having a cig.
I'd
which
love to actually measure the difference between what's more damaging,
But-
like
but-
having a couple of puffs of a vape or having like a 600ml can of Coke, like what it does to your body.
Right.
It's really fascinating
They do
to
different
see it
bad
under the
things,
microscope. But anyway, what were you getting at? Go.
Well,
What were you getting at?
this
You-
is actually something that also grinds my gears, I have
Okay.
to say. The whole
going back to-
vape cig conversation where the government makes money off of the sale and tax of cigarettes and it's legal to buy cigarettes, but the whole conversation around vaping and making it illegal and now you need to go and have a prescription to go and buy a vape, that's messed up. Like, don't you think?
Which part?
You can go in and buy cigarettes, right? You show proof of ID.
Yeah.
You can just go in and buy them. You don't need a prescription to go and buy cigarettes.
Yeah.
But vapes do pretty much the exact same thing. There's just not that much, I guess, clinical studies done behind the actual.
So what are you saying? What are you trying to say?
Don't you think it's weird that the government are like, no, you have to go in and get a prescription to buy vapes, yet you can just go in and buy cigarettes at a 7-Eleven store? Why do you need a prescription to go and buy a vape, but you can just go and buy cigs?
ChatGPT?
No, but don't you think that's so messed up?
Yeah.
Why isn't it just you can go and buy vapes and cigarettes with proof
Well, I
of
think
ID?
that they're like once you start to go into something like that, I think you then get a lot deeper because I think it's about controlled and regulated industries.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And people who have their foothold on a certain space and
Yeah.
they want to control that and not let a new player or a new product take hold of the market.
Doesn't that just demonstrate like what the government is involved in? And if you don't want people to smoke, make it
illegal.
Yeah, make it illegal.
Yeah.
If you know it is quite literally killing people, why is it legal?
So what are you saying? They should ban
No, I
vaping and
think
smoking,
if
or
you
that
want to set a standard,
you should be able to go and say, is it not being a double standard? Is it?
Yeah, it's a double standard. You have
so
to
you
go
should
and-
be able to. What do you prefer?
if you're going to sell cigarettes
you
to
should be
people
able to
over
sell
the age of
vapes.
18,
should be able to sell vapes.
you should be able to sell vapes.
All right.
If you want people to be more conscious and go and get a prescription for a vape, which is insane that someone would prescribe a vape to you that literally has no health benefits towards you as a person. I just don't understand that. What person would prescribe someone a vape? Be like, yeah, sorry, doctor, I'm having a lot of stress lately, and I
But I mean, again, then we're going deeper.
But that's crazy. Make it legal for people to just go and buy cigarettes and vapes at the same time with proof of age, if that's what you're really concerned about, right?
Yes.
Anyway, on the health consciousness side of things.
Wow.
I just we were talking about vapes, and I was just like, oh, that's an interesting conversation
Yes.
that I feel passionate about. Like,
Yeah, you do. I can tell.
know, I just think that's so. It's
Get
so.
your flag out.
I thought you were just
Get
about
your-
to say, get your flaps out.
What? Well, how is that going to change anything?
Nah, but you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's so wild how messed up this world is in terms of like we're setting the
Look,
standard.
there's a lot of double
things.
standards, for sure.
There's so many double
And look,
standards.
this is trying to bring it back to a positive note. What are the things that we are
Yeah.
actually excited? Like people being more health conscious and
Yeah,
being aware of the
absolutely.
things that they're putting into their body. I think COVID made people a lot more aware around these things. The fact that we're told and sold that maybe something is good for us, and we've sort of seen evidence of contrary to that. Even when our governments say that, hey, you got to do this, you got to do this, and then they sort of backflip.
Yeah.
And it's an irreversible process as well.
It is, yeah.
People put something into their body you can't just take out, or or you can't just stop.
Yeah.
I think it's made a lot of people reflect on the things that they're ingesting, putting into their body on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
Starting with food, also water as well.
Yeah.
I think those things are. It's great to see, and it's nice to see like US politics, someone like an RFK, who's about clean water, clean food, healthier people, because it is pretty crazy that we are I think the most unhealthy generation that has ever lived.
Well, absolutely. They have ingredients in children's cereal in America that are literally illegal to have in food here in Australia because of the cancer-causing properties.
Is it because of the cancer-causing properties? Is that?
Yeah, the chemicals.
Is that why it's not?
The chemicals.
Yeah? I don't know that for a fact, so I'm not going to say that.
There are chemicals here in Australia that you can not put in food that are so legal to be able to just put in food, sprinkle in food, children's food, adults' food, everywhere in America.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I feel like.
But it's just the FDA regulations there are different to here, but because of, I feel like Australia is more health conscious about certain things that food, supplements, like it's
I
very
definitely, I mean,
heavily
I
regulated.
was 120 kilos when we lived in America. I got
We actually need a picture of this.
I got quite heavy.
Ross did get
like
very
89 at the moment. I sit around 89. I sit between 88 and 92.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was 100 just shy of 120 kilos because like the food over there was it was almost cheaper to buy more.
Yeah.
And the quality, there was some great, you could get great quality, but also you could get some stuff which just tasted amazing. Clearly it just wasn't too good for me.
Yeah,
I think that's what helped turn me into a celiac as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, RFK is someone who's fighting for heavier regulations around the ingredients in food, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how that hasn't happened sooner because of how many unhealthy and overweight people are and like how much they impact the system over there because of their health.
I feel
and
like
it's so
deep in, we're going to get into conspiracy territory here.
No, but
I feel like I need to check the wheel nuts on our car before we get into it because Kellogg's cornflakes are going to come and undo them.
No, but to be fair though, it is such a huge issue in America with a lot of people. The shit that is in food.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you can say it's cool to see that wake the fuck up guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool to see people
I love him.
It's people cool to obviously you do because it's got the F word in it. But it's cool to see people like him and the traction that someone like he's getting because I think people you can just see that like conscious shift towards maybe I just need to be a little bit more health conscious or learn a little bit about more about what I'm putting into my body. Like that's a cool thing. It's actually good.
Yeah.
And you're seeing a lot more of online companies where they're going like farm to house. So you know where your meats come from or your fish or your vegetables. That's really cool. Or like a digital marketplace.
Yeah.
It's a digital farmers market. That's really cool. I think it's nice to see.
Yeah, it's awesome that there's a shift in that. I think also too, what was the one reason that made you want to lose all that weight that you stacked on in America?
One reason? I don't think there was multiple.
What was the what were the reasons?
Well, I was coming up to being 30 and I didn't want to be fat in 30. I wanted to be fit in 30.
Yeah. You lost weight very quickly actually.
Yeah, it was over a few months.
Yeah.
It was every morning, fasted cardio.
Yeah.
And then try to get in a gym session in the afternoon as well. But it was definitely fasted cardio.
Yeah.
Elliptical. I started with the elliptical because I just got like unhealthy.
Yeah, you
Went
did.
to elliptical for like a month or 6 weeks. And
Which
then
is crazy because I was the one that was training every single day.
Yeah.
And like peak.
Well, you had a job that sort of almost holds you accountable for that.
It does, yeah. Very true.
Although some people do pretty well out of being what size I was. Maybe I should have gone into some plus size modeling. What do you
Diversity is everything. But I mean, you didn't feel good
No,
at
I
all.
felt
Like
shit.
traveling as well.
Yeah, I felt like shit.
Because you were coming back to America every month and you were getting on a 14-hour flight and sitting in a chair for the 14 hours.
Yeah, and I certainly was
Not great.
certainly was not flying business.
Yeah. The amount of times that we traveled, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember like reaching down and I like to do my shoes up when you're on an airplane flight. And when it started to get comfortable for me to reach down and do my shoes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Started to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like reach and then get a cramp in like my side. I was like so embarrassed with myself. I was like, what have I become?
Oh, but
I'm a blob.
It is literally just so
It's
Jacob
literally like just sitting there like in tears while like eating food. You know,
It's
like
nice.
Nutty Professor. It wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad. Like, to be fair too, you were like leg pressing something like 300 kilos or something like that, weren't you?
Oh, look,
well.
I
You're very
lift some pretty heavy weight, but
Yeah.
I just had a lot of like fat.
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't have been good for me, like in my organs, and my blood pressure was quite high.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Definitely a lot of impacts, but I'm glad that you started taking your health a lot.
you stuck around with me. You didn't even,
Yeah.
I don't even
Through
think once.
thick and thin, baby. I'm always
through,
here.
Through thin and fat.
Well, I'm not going to use the F word. I'm banned from using the F word,
Yeah,
actually.
It's true. That's good. Okay, so that's one positive thing that you're sort
Yeah.
of you're liking at the moment. You
Yeah,
think that's
absolutely. I think also too, the election recently has definitely shown us and demonstrated to us the rise of the de-influencing.
or the fall of the influencing.
Yeah, well, yeah, the fall of the influencing. So I think people are just becoming a lot more aware and awake to the fact that they don't want to be dictated to from the media, from celebrities, from influencers, from like all these people who are just pushing an agenda. I think people are now waking up to, okay, I'm not just going to listen to what someone says. I'm actually going to
Just because I like their music, it doesn't mean that they've got like
Yeah.
a justified worldview on things.
Yeah, because everyone's life experiences and expectations are very, very different.
You know, one person who summed it up really well, and no shade on J-Lo, but it was directed at J-Lo when she came out and she was speaking for Kamala. Someone was like, yeah, because we're going to listen to the chick's advice who dated Diddy.
But didn't warn us about Diddy.
But didn't warn us about Diddy. Like, that's kind of like a double standard there.
I honestly feel like there was a really odd thing for them to put J-Lo in, because I feel like there's a really big movement of people cancelling J-Lo at the moment for the things that she says and she does.
I don't know.
Well, you saw a show that came out on Prime.
I didn't see her show.
I made you watch a bit of it. And you're
How
like,
much of
what
it did
are
I
we
watch?
Watching?
How many seconds of it did I watch?
Well, I watched the music.
I'm pretty
video
sure
movie.
I went and stood and stared at a wall.
Yeah.
After
Well, you were
watching that for
you
40
heard-
seconds, that it was far more entertaining.
I was playing
was
it, and you were hearing the
mind-numbing.
things that were going on. She's like, she's in a.
The coolest
in a
thing
gym.
about that was Ben. Was Ben Affleck in that one, or was that?
Yeah, he was partly in it.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was like, I don't think you should put all your money towards this, personally. And he was like saying shit on the show, like calling her out, being like, this never happened. And she's like, puppy. But she called him puppy. But she's in her like $60 million home in Beverly Hills in her gym, and she's like, she pulls her hair out and she's like, you know, like, this just reminds me of like, you know, me as a little girl running down the street, little dreams and shit. And it's just like, everyone was like, J-Lo, actually, what the F are you talking about? Like, seriously, come on. It's just, the relatability is not there. Like, it just was, I personally think it was not a good look for her at all. And TikTok especially, people are so brutal on TikTok, but dragged her and just posted about it being like, yeah, nah, like none of us can relate to this.
Do you think people should be dragged when they do stupid shit like that? Or do you think...
I think people should definitely be held accountable. Like, for
But dragged? Do you think she was like...
look,
Although I do think if you're going to get up in front of thousands or millions of people and tell them which way to vote...
Yeah.
Which might
Be
decide
prepared.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think you probably are entitled to receive some criticism of your own way that you conduct yourself.
Yeah. And I thought it was a really interesting angle that they had J-Lo and a couple of other people getting up and talking about it when they've been so like connected to things that are going around and going on at the moment with like the Diddy situation, things like that. It's like, that's like a pretty bold move, hey?
Yeah.
Having those people get behind someone, yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, you could probably say that on both sides, to be honest.
So you see that as a positive thing, though, that people are starting to see through more
totally.
of those things.
Yeah, I think people are
so
actually
obviously
like...
there was the election. Are you thinking that sort of transfers into social media, into like influencers?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. And I think people are very aware that they're being told and sold something, especially when it's not authentic, when it's just like peddling this, like, this is how I make money. And there's nothing wrong with it. But I think when it's not genuine and you're just taking a paycheck, I feel like people now are just tuning out of that. And they're like, I know that you don't actually use this or do this. Like, this is just...
You were using something else 2 days ago.
Literally a different brand like 2 days ago, and then you're like, I use this. Like, it's, I feel like people are just so much more aware. And of course, like, now you have to disclose when things are an ad. And
that's good.
Yeah, I think it is good. Transparency is definitely... like the transparency.
It's good, but also that should be common sense. If you know you're on a platform that you don't pay any money for, they've got to be making money from it some other way. So you got to figure out those dots.
To be fair,
and not be ignorant.
To be fair, there are a lot of kids. They've now raised the age limit for social media to 16 years old instead of 13 here in Australia.
Have they done that? What do you mean?
Yeah, they literally just passed that. 16. You have to be 16 years old to be able to go on social media.
How do they police that?
I don't know. It's interesting, but
Hang on. Is that a fact you're quoting, or you think that they have done that?
Yeah, no, they have.
So if you're 15 years old, it's illegal for you currently.
I don't know if it's like illegal, but it's like they raise the guidelines. I don't know the term specifically, but the government came out in the news and said it. Be specific. Okay. Be specific. Can we get that fact checked, please, Jacob?
Yes, I'm already onto it.
But yeah, they did say that
you can't just watch a 15-second TikTok of something and then claim it as fact.
It wasn't.
Do that so much.
No, I don't.
You're like, by the way, I just found out how to cure brain cancer. You got to have 2 cups of turmeric in the morning and it's done.
Shut up. I actually don't do that, you dickhead.
Sometimes you do.
No, I don't.
Maybe not to that extent.
No, I don't. But they did just raise the age limit to 16, which is great. But there are a lot of children on social media who they're not aware of those things. They are being dictated to from people, and they look up to people, and they're like, they believe everything that they're being told. So I do think that transparency is incredibly important.
Any facts, Jacob?
The fact is, yes, 3 days ago, the Australian government will legislate a ban on social media for children under 16.
Wow.
A ban. So I find that really interesting. Like, how do you police that? Do you have to show your, like...
In order to sign yourself up, there'll have to be some ID or permissions or something from a parent. But that'll create more challenges. But anyway, look, I think that's not a bad thing, to be honest. I think that if you're not very smart at those ages, and you're very impressionable is probably more important. You're very impressionable when you're young.
Yeah, you are.
And as an old,
I feel like you're very impressionable when you're an older person as well. Like all of the AI girls that are going around on social media, and you see all the men commenting, being like, "Oh, so sexy, baby. I love this." And I'm like, she's clearly AI. This is not real. This is not a real woman. How do you not, like, are we looking at the same thing here? Really? But it's like...
You remember, a lot of those people have cum screens, so...
They do, yeah. They might...
So maybe they're not looking at the same thing.
And a reminder to people out there who might have cum screens, please clean them off, because what you're commenting on and liking is actually not a real person, which I find hilarious. But I do think it's genuinely very good, because
I think it's a great thing.
I've seen a lot of things happening with young kids who are being baited into sending over nude photos to someone who they think is a girl who have sent...
Oh, shit. I reckon if I was 12 years old and I thought I was talking to like a 13-year-old girl, and she she sent me something, I'll be like, oh, yeah, probably. I'll probably send some stupid shit.
Yeah. But and then they go and blackmail the kid and be like, transfer me $1,000.
That's messed up.
And then they go and end their life, which I think
it's good that they're protecting, like they're creating better spaces.
Yeah,
100%. For more vulnerable. If that happens when you're 22, you probably should know better. It's still not a good thing. I don't think the whole catfishing thing. Like, I think that's a bad thing. But also, you're not 12, 13 trying to learn and understand the world. At 12 or 13, there's still a sense of innocence. There's still a sense of innocence, thinking that other people don't purposely manipulate or do things for nefarious reasons.
Nefarious.
Whereas by the time you're 20 odd, I've seen enough movies,
But sometimes, though, people aren't... sometimes people aren't exposed to certain things, so they just are not, like you see all these
Hopefully they're not
catfishing
exposed to
shows, and
certain
it's like,
things. That's-
how did you not
that's part
know
of the point.
this was this person was not a real person? Like,
You put that.
but also
you remember that one that you put on the other day?
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah,
That was actually wild to believe, like someone you've talked
for
to
years.
and it was
She
her
built her
friend.
life around that.
Yeah, that was actually crazy. But yeah, people aren't exposed to that kind of behavior. So even when they're an adult and they haven't gone through anything like that, or they don't know people who haven't gone through stuff like that, it's like it's very hard to navigate and expect like, oh, you should know how to. You should know that this isn't real, or this isn't a real person, or whatever. Like, I think everyone's experiences are different. I'd experiences younger, like when I was 15, 16, you know, talking to people on chat rooms, for God's sake. Like, it was actually insane. I think even younger than that.
Get a little bug on your head.
Get away from me. Here's me being like, I'd be so good at I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, and a fly flies around my face.
It wasn't even a fly, it was like a little midgie.
Yeah, it's like one of those fruit flies.
So there's a good thing that's happening in the world, a big,
Yeah.
like a conscious shift. It's almost like a conscious shift of bit of health and some mindset.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. I think
understanding
it's
who to
great.
listen to, who not to listen to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's awesome. I think people are just becoming a little bit more
More
aware
awake.
more awake and aware of what's going on around them, instead of just believing in things that they're being told by, especially the media as well. I feel like the media is a really interesting conversation. It's like, we were talking about this during the election. It's like, do you think that they should be able to actually, like, I think they should report on the news as a media outlet. I don't think that they should be able to sit and take sides politically.
Yeah, I mean, well, that is what it should be. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's not. They should have a lot of media should have disclaimers at the beginning or at the end saying this is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, they're
These
politically
aren't based
biased.
on facts. They're actually opinions of the person presenting and of the network.
Well, I think people
So
are
more
becoming
transparency.
so much more aware of that. You know, it is.
It's a good thing.
It's
There's an
more
awakening.
entertainment purposes. Yeah, not taking things
Not
verbatim. You know.
Yeah, not going woke. That's almost like
Well,
the
yeah, I think
different.
that-
It's almost like
sometimes
that's
people
almost
go-
the total opposite of like an awakening.
Yeah.
Is not being woke.
Yeah.
They're like the same sort of thing.
Being
Play on words.
unburdened by what has been.
What is?
Do you feel unburdened by what has been?
Oh, I'm about to be unburdened by what has done, and what is therefore shall come.
I find US elections and politics
Crazy.
just so entertaining.
Crazy.
It's never at that level here in Australia.
No, it's not. It's
No.
and it's great. That's great. You shouldn't be able to campaign for that long.
Yeah, no.
Like, who's running the country anyway?
Not Joe
What
Biden.
else are you hopeful for? What else are you positive for and optimistic for?
I mean,
Not much,
I think
really.
we've kind of covered.
It's all doom and gloom, isn't it? It's all
so doom and gloom. But yeah, I think like the access to, sort of more on that topic, like the access to information and the power of the internet,
yeah.
being able to really harness that for a good thing, and like not going crazy woke.
I think if you've got if you've got access, if you've got a phone in your hands,
Yeah.
you've got the ability to find information, to seek information,
Yeah.
to ask questions.
Yeah. I think that's always
to
important
make, like-
constantly question. I feel like to constantly question.
You're always questioning me.
Yeah. I feel like you're always questioning me, babe. When are you ready? When are we doing this? Did we make these plans?
True.
Yeah.
What did
I
I say?
feel like you're
What did I
always
say
badgering
yesterday?
me about these things. What did you say yesterday?
Yeah.
You ask me a million questions a day. I don't know. What did you ask me?
No, that's a question I was asking
Oh.
you. Babe, what did I say yesterday? What did I say during the filming of...
Hurry up.
Oh, a regular one is when you're going to be ready.
To be fair, Ross, it's been almost 16 years. I will be ready when I come out and say I'm ready.
I know,
I
but
think
it's
you need
almost
to
like-
actually stop asking me, when are you going to be ready? Because when I come out
feel
and say
like on
I'm
your
ready to go-
makeup, in your makeup room, I feel like behind the mirror there needs to be a giant digital timer.
No, Ross.
2 timers.
No, because
one
sometimes
of the
things
actual
go wrong.
time
No.
in 12-hour time, because I know you're not the best with 24-hour time, and the other one a countdown timer as to when we should have left by.
No, Ross, because sometimes as a girl, things go wrong. Sometimes your makeup goes on wrong, so you have to wash your face and start all over again, which adds some more time of you
As a
getting ready.
girl?
Sometimes,
It's That's genderism, isn't it?
Actually, yeah. I think like if we're talking about one of our best friends, Marty, also like we've gotten ready together. He wears high heel Louboutins, which walks in them better than me. He can actually do backflips in Louboutins, which is insane. I'm sitting here and my feet are literally screaming, but they look great. But he's got nails longer than me as well. Shout out to Marty. We love you. Nails longer than me. He wears makeup when he goes out, like full like bedazzled jackets. So yeah, men and women or whatever you identify as. They, thems, she, hers, furries.
There's only men and women.
Actually, do you know what Kourtney Kardashian came out as recently? It was I think it's called autosexual. Can we fact check this, please, Jacob? Kourtney Kardashian identifies as, it's like autosexual or something, where this is now a thing, right?
You're a car?
No, she is turned on by the idea or the smell or the something else of herself. You can now identify.
Isn't that just called
That
self?
is correct. Autosexual.
Yeah.
People are more attracted to themselves than to others and may prefer masturbation to sex with a partner.
That is such a Kourtney Kardashian thing to
Thanks
say.
for asking me to fact check that one.
Wow.
Could you imagine sitting there
Isn't that
like,
just
talking to
isn't that
Kourtney
just
and
called
she's like,
self-obsessed?
yeah, I identify as autosexual.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good on her for rating herself. I mean, okay.
Can you imagine just sitting there and getting yourself off her?
We got way off track. Way off track, babe. Stop leading us down a rabbit hole.
Sorry, I'm just talking about like all these things like people identify as these days. There's a word and a name for everything. It's actually getting out of control. It's becoming insane.
Is this going back to grinding gears? I feel like this needs its own
For sure.
own topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Its own
But
segment.
like kids that are going into schools and saying, I'm a cat, like get me a water bowl and like I need a kitty litter tray.
Yeah,
in
look,
the
if
back
you
of the
identify as a
classroom.
cat, here's your fucking can of whiskers. There's where you shit in a litter box and shut up.
Also,
you do not talk
you don't
anymore.
go to school, you don't
can't-
speak.
You don't play games.
You can play.
You don't get the benefits of being a human. You don't get any of those. You're a cat. Also, here's your injection. I'm going to deworm you. Also, I'm taking your thermometer. I'm sticking up your ass to check your temperature. All of these things. I need to clip your claws now as well.
Yeah, exactly.
If you are if you're identifying as a cat, then you are living as a cat.
You don't talk, you meow, you don't get a phone, you don't get social media. You could sit and watch TV, but it's the TV that we say you're going to watch.
Quiet, don't talk. Cats don't talk.
Exactly. Yeah. Period. I mean, like, that's kind of nice if you had a child that was kind of annoying all the time. You'd be like, no, all you're doing is meowing. That's the only way. Just shut up. Don't talk. Meow. Imagine that. It's insane. It's just getting out of control. It really is. People being like...
I feel like there's going to be some normalizing across the board. Hopefully. I think the US election just brought out all types of craziness. I'm hopeful that over the next few years... Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Takes two to tango.
Yeah, but I mean, you could say that about anything though, really. Like, it's not just about politics. People on both sides of things take things way too far. And I don't think it should be like a demonstration of the person or the thing that people are talking about. I think there are genuinely some crazy people in the world who just love to cause chaos and stir them. I mean, like, yeah, exactly.
You like to do a little bit of stirring, don't you?
I do. I feel like that's why I'd be really good on like a TV show like Real Housewives or something. Because could you imagine?
Yeah, actually, you don't so much like to stir. You like walk over,
actually
throw some ingredients in, and walk out.
Yeah, just like call some stuff out or be like, oh, hey, like, what are we thinking?
You'd like pour a little bit of laxatives in something and walk off, and you'd like to sit back and see
could you imagine doing that to someone? Pouring laxatives in their coffee or like their tea or something.
I feel like that's a bucket list thing. I feel like everyone needs to maybe do that at one
I would
point
actually
in their
like
life, make someone shit themselves.
I know this is going to make me sound really bad, but I would actually really love to do that to someone that I really dislike one day.
Yeah, they need to just
like, people that say don't hold grudges, but like, it's not a grudge. It's just like you would just get a bit of a kick out of it, eh? You'd be like,
probably,
just seeing them shit their pants.
I don't think it. No,
I know that makes you sound really
pretty
evil, but But
I would.
people
I don't
have
want
done
them to
some messed up stuff to us over the years.
I wouldn't want them to shit their pants. I would love to
would.
just see them running across the room, holding their butt,
Shitting
like,
themselves.
no,
Coming out
do you know I've
out from
actually
their
seen
leg.
that. I've seen that once at a shopping center. I literally was coming out of the bathroom, and there was a kid. I was young too. I think I was like 12, 13 years old.
No
and there was
way.
another kid walking the other direction, holding his pants with shit all down his leg. He literally looked like he went to like the curry in a hurry. Place it literally looked like he took a bowl of curry, stuck it down his pants, and it was running down his leg.
Oh, the poor kid.
But it didn't smell like curry. It smelled like shit.
Oh, that poor kid.
Yeah, I don't know what he was going to do in there
I
because it
feel
was a
sorry
shopping
for the
center.
kid.
Literally covered it.
I wouldn't
was
feel
bad.
sorry for
Yeah,
the
it was
person that
bad.
would really deserve getting laxatives put in their cake or tea or whatever it is.
Watch out, team. Make sure you cover your cups around Ellie.
No, I mean,
If
like,
Ellie brings you a happy birthday cake and she hasn't really spoken to you in 10 years, maybe be suspect of that cake.
There's not a lot of people that I really dislike. I'm going to say hate. And people are like, oh, you shouldn't hate people. There are some people in this world that I do hate that I wouldn't feel bad about doing that to, really.
Yeah. Oh, look,
hate
is a strong word.
Look,
but
I mean, you're not supposed to say this stuff, but like
Hitler. I don't dislike the guy. I think you should hate that person. He's disgusting.
Exactly. I would put laxatives in his coffee if I ever had the opportunity back then.
I wouldn't feel bad about that at all.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some people out there. And this is a human thing, so don't come for me and tell me, don't hold hate, don't hold grudges. Like, it's obviously a thing that I'm constantly working towards becoming a better person. But I'm not perfect. Do I hate some people? Yes, I do. Have people done some messed up stuff to me over the years? Of course they have.
I think the difference is like harboring that and like focusing on.
Yeah.
It's just, you might see
like,
that.
I wouldn't go out of my way, but if I had the opportunity to just, just do something, which I have done over the years. I'm not going to lie.
You've done okay, yeah. All right, let's make a list of these things. And maybe we should drop them. Some of them are incriminating.
Some confessions.
But I think we're going to need to check, like, is it like a statute of limitations on certain things before we disclose them?
I can legally actually say that we've done over the years.
But on that, I mean, you say, like, hate a few people or you dislike a few people. How do you keep yourself on track on a daily? Like, what are things that you do that don't let you go into that? Because obviously we spoke about grinding gears.
Yeah.
There's some good shit that's happening in the world as well. But how do you make sure that you have a good positive mindset focusing forward? We finish up with
this is actually something that we have on our shower door. We have like a list of things that we wrote in, what's it called? Nico pen?
Nico pen?
What are they called?
Like a permanent marker?
Like a permanent marker. But weren't they called like Nico pens or something back in the day?
Yeah, maybe. Nikos?
Yeah, we've got a few things on our shower glass door that we look at every morning when we're kind of...
Like affirmations?
Yeah, affirmations.
Yes.
Like things to focus on. But one of the biggest things, and this is one of yours, is to focus on breathing. And not like breathing in deep breaths when you're smoking a vape or a cig. Just like making
ASMR.
Please don't do that breathing in. Ross, stop.
Is this going to be ASMR?
That's going to be just really annoying to listen to. Just please don't breathe like that ever again.
So on that, don't breathe, do breathe.
Can you just stop breathing for a second?
Okay.
Can you just not breathe? But yeah, I think taking a conscious moment, because we have so many stresses during the day and so much anxiety around things that are going on in our lives. And I think really prioritizing sitting there. You don't need to meditate. Like some people, like meditation is just like not for some people. But I think consciously taking the time out to breathe and have deep breaths. This is something that you've also done. We might be in the car or something and we put breathing exercises on. And it makes such a huge difference to how your body feels, to how your brain feels, just feeling more awake and alive and just feeling a little bit more centered. I think it's also one of the things that people, when they are smoking cigs and e-cigarettes.
It's one of the only times that people are actually taking big, long inhalation of breath.
Yeah, exactly. And it's something that genuinely makes your body feel good.
Yeah.
And back to shout out to Marty, who's like 50 days smoke free now.
Yeah, Marty.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. And he's been smoking like 2 packs a day since he was 15 years old, which is incredible. Just stopped cold turkey.
Yeah.
But he was like, I'm having all this anxiety and I'm having like a lot of trouble. And I'm like, do you do like big deep breaths every day? And he's like, not really. And I was like, when was the time that you did big, deep breaths, you know? Like, and he's like, when I was smoking. So taking big, deep breaths in and out and being conscious of doing that every day is definitely something that helps center us and sets the tone for the day.
It's a bit of breathing.
Or at night.
Another thing that I like to remind myself of.
Yeah.
If no one existed tomorrow, if we woke up and it was like I Am Legend.
Yeah.
You're like Will Smith. You're like,
oh, that would
going
actually
around.
be kind of fun, to be honest.
Would
I'm not going to lie. I would kind of low-key love that.
Yeah.
Which is really messed up.
So one thing.
Walking Dead vibes, or like I Am Legend, yeah.
More I Am Legend, like nothingness. So if no one else was around tomorrow, how would that affect what you bought?
Well, I wouldn't have to buy anything. I could just go in and take it.
No, that's not the point.
Wouldn't you just like walk into the...
That's not the point. It's
what's
would
it called?
you go
the Royal Palace and be like, I'm going to try on Princess Diana's diamonds.
I feel like I need to hit my head against the microphone.
But wouldn't you do that?
That's not what I was saying.
I would wear Princess Diana's crowns.
All right. What I'm saying is I think sometimes you buy like a T-shirt or shorts or shoes or a piece of jewelry because of what other people will think of it, not because you genuinely want it. So imagine if no one existed tomorrow, what would be of importance to you to purchase or to own? I think people would buy a lot less shit.
Definitely.
Based on not thinking about anything else. So if you're on a deserted island and there was like an infinite Amazon store there, I reckon people would buy less stuff. They would buy slightly different things because it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, totally.
So
absolutely. But I think I'm the wrong
trying
person
to get at.
I think I'm the wrong because I don't feel like I buy things for approval from other people. I genuinely buy things because like I want them.
Yeah, no, I think you're pretty good at that for sure.
Yeah.
And especially even I think also because you operate a business that in the social media space and you understand a lot of those things aren't for personal like glorifying the way you look or what you're wearing.
Yeah.
It's an industry that you're in.
Yeah.
Whereas I think I've gotten way better at it over the past 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah. Do you remember when we used to buy Ed Hardy stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. Rhinestones.
Matching Ed Hardy shirts and dresses. Like not matching dresses because you obviously wouldn't be able to fit into an Ed Hardy dress even if you wanted to.
So they're two. I think they're two like solid points that help keep us on track.
Yeah, I think like I definitely over the years have become so much like in the beginning. Yeah, it's so much fun to go out and buy stuff, but now I think like I couldn't care what anyone would think of me if I bought a bag or bought something. If I generally do buy something, it's because like, oh, this makes me feel good and I want it for my own personal reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I couldn't care to go buy a bag to impress anyone or diamonds or anything like that. It's like if I want something, I want it because it makes me happy.
Yeah.
Not because of like how I look to other people or my status, which I think is like a really important message always. Like be able to just do things that make you happy and not what people expect or think of you.
Yeah. Good little reminders.
Totally. Absolutely. And I think also remembering that problems are only temporary. Like you can...
Unless you're in hell, because apparently that's permanent.
Very true. Yeah. That's very true. Yeah. Satan loves to keep you down there for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
All eternity.
Yep.
But yeah, I think remembering problems are only temporary and everything is not easily worked through, but you can always find a solution to that problem.
Yeah.
And it might seem really, really big and daunting at the time.
That's what she said.
You always have to flip something that's like a nice, serious thing that I'm saying and making it really dirty and dark.
Well,
but yeah, I think that everyone's facing problems. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do. Everyone faces big problems, sometimes on a daily basis. And I think remembering that it's only going to be temporary. Like you will work through it, you'll get through it, you'll be fine, you'll be okay. And relying on the people around you to help support you and get you through stuff and communicating to them if you are not doing well, just keeping that in mind.
Yeah, and maybe sometimes you don't have the best support network in place, so invest in yourself.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Don't live in your own head, which is why like journaling and writing stuff down is really helpful.
Yeah.
But that's also important as well, I think.
Yeah, being able also I think one of the big takeaways from our grief and loss series was people saying, yeah, actually, like I've gone and booked in sessions with a counselor now because like that's not something that I ever thought about prioritizing or ever thought that I needed to do until I listened to this series. And I think that's also a super important thing. You don't need someone to die tragically to be able to go and have counseling. It's just if you're going through life problems and you just want someone to talk to help you navigate through what you're going through so you just feel a little bit less alone, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's really important.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's my little 2 cents. 20 cents, $1.
$100 actually.
Only one.
That's actually not bad. Yeah. Good effort.
Yeah,
Let's aim for
I'm
next
really proud of
let's
that.
aim for next episode 0.
Yeah.
And eventually we can get rid of this glass jar and your filthy potty mouth is
Ross,
gone.
actually, I think you need a swear jar now because you're the one who drops F-bombs like every second word.
Fuck off. On that note, thank you guys for listening.
Yes, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed our things that grind our gears and things that piss me off, but also like the nice.
Just IRL conversations.
Yeah, in real life
really
conversations.
What it is.
Yeah, just talking a whole lot of shit.
Yeah. Pretty good at it.
Thanks,
guys. Have a great day, week, month, year, all of the above. Do the things,
things.
of like the clicks and the likes.
Yeah, subscriptions.
And we will we'll chat to you in the next episode.
Yeah,
Peace.
love you guys.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to In Real Life. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to subscribe on Spotify and connect with us on Instagram at IRL with us. And remember, life isn't about meeting other people's expectations. It's about living it on your terms and meeting your own expectations. So go out there and live in real life. We'll see you next time.